Hey everybody, it's May 22nd, 2017, and this is the Chuck Baker vlog number 387, and it's a Monday, and hey, we all survived the weekend. How about that? Um, how the heck is everybody today? I really want to know, so put a note down there in the comments. Tell me how you're doing, what you've been up to. And today I have 6 news stories to talk with you about, so let's get started. First one here is Bresha Meadows case. Teen who killed father gets deal that spares jail time. This girl, she's 15 years old, and she killed her father. Um, I guess there was a fight. I didn't actually see the whole article. But what happened was her father was abusive, and he was abusive to her and her mother. And her mother had filed a restraining order at one time, but then they got back together. And this girl, she had run away once to try and get away from her father, but she ended up killing her father. And when they arrested her, she was originally charged with murder, and they dropped the charge down to involuntary manslaughter. And instead of jail time, she has to go to counseling. I think it's 6 months to a year. And then after she gets out, when she turns 21, it'll be removed from her record, so she won't have a record of that. I think they probably did a good thing in this case, because if she was that afraid of her father, she might have been the one getting killed instead of him. That's sometimes how it happens. Now, the man's sister isn't very happy about this deal. She thinks that the girl should go to trial, and but no, I'd have to agree with that. If that girl was so afraid of her father that she ended up killing him, that's not good for anybody. I'm sorry it happened, but the girl needs some help. So what do you think? Do you think that she should have been charged with murder and go to trial, or do you think that they made the right choice? You can read the article on my Google Plus page, and link to the articles also down in the description, as are all the articles that I talked with you about today, so you can read them in their entirety at your leisure. Next story here is Michael Flynn to take the Fifth Amendment and decline Senate subpoena. Well, that title is kind of misleading. You can't decline a subpoena. You have to go. You have to testify. Now, when he gets on the stand, he can plead the fifth all he wants. There's nothing wrong with that, but he actually has to go there to the investigation, and he has to be sworn in, and they'll ask questions. Whether he answers or not, but he's got to show up. But, if he pleads the fifth, it kind of makes it more likely that there is something going on. Whether he actually did anything or not, we'll probably never know. But when a witness is subpoenaed like that and they plead the Fifth Amendment, that kind of puts some validity to the investigation. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Now, I do know that Comey is going to take the offer of testifying, and he's going to testify about the investigation. So we'll see what he has to say about that. Trump might be in a little bit of trouble, but we'll see. Next article here is what America's new arms deal with Saudi Arabia says about the Trump administration. Well, it's kind of a iffy proposition. We're going to give arms to another country. We've helped out allies before, but I don't think we've ever actually given them weapons. We've sent troops and fought, but we'll see how that turns out. Okay, U.S. extends temporary protected status to Haitians until January. Now, this really surprised me. The U.S. is going to let the Haitian people that came here after the earthquake in Haiti, they're going to let them stay here till at least January. With the way things were going, I thought they'd throw them all out right away, because the Muslim ban and all, and ICE deporting people left and right. So I was really surprised when this article came up and Homeland Security is giving them protected status till January. That seems would be unlikely, but maybe Trump didn't have anything to do with this. Maybe Homeland Security just set this on their own. Which, if they did, I would have to commend them. They did a good job, but like I said, I was surprised. How about you? Were you surprised with that, or just put a note down there in the comments? Next story here is 3 teens denied bail in Mississippi boy's shooting death. This is an update to a story that I talked about earlier. The woman that had her car stolen. Now, in the previous article that I talked to you about, they said it was stolen from Walmart. This article says from a Kroger store, so I'm not really sure which one is the correct one. But at any rate, they caught the teenagers that stole the car, and there were 3 of them, 2 17-year-olds and a 19-year-old. The 19-year-old, his name is Byron McBride. He's the one that they say actually did the shooting of 6-year-old Kingston Frazier. And they just had their first time up in front of the judge, and they were denied bail, so they're going to be in jail until their trial comes up. And I hope they charge them as adults. At least the 19-year-old, he's the one that did the actual killing. Now, the 17-year-olds, my mind's kind of split on that one. They're 17, they could be charged as juveniles, but they may not have even knew what he was going to do when this 19-year-old shot the boy, but I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. We'll have to see what all comes out in the trial. But yeah, that 19-year-old, I don't think he should ever see the light of day. He needs to be in jail for the rest of his life because he's got no business out with civilized people when you can do that to a little boy. No, I just can't see that. And then the last story here is Mississippi lawmaker sorry he urged lynching for statue removal. In New Orleans, they removed the statue of Robert E. Lee, part of the Confederate monument removal. And this lawmaker, he got on Twitter and said that the people that are doing this monument removal should be lynched. Well, his Twitter, he just blew up. Everybody was getting on his case for saying that. The Republicans, they were all over him for saying that. And he apologized and he removed that tweet. But, he can't be saying that to people. That's just crazy, talking about lynching people just because they removed a monument. That's not right. But, when the story first came out about him removing the Confederate monuments, I really didn't have a an opinion one way or the other. They can do what they want to with those monuments, but you know, thinking about it, these monuments were put up there um, because the people of the South believe that uh, slavery should be allowed, and the people from the North wanted to abolish slavery. And they were both fighting for what they thought was right at the time, but then after the Civil War ended, they erected all these monuments to the um, military leaders of the South, Robert E. Lee, and they've been up for a while. And I can understand why people want to take them down now because they're kind of symbols of hatred and racism. But they also remind us of our history, too. And when you take the monuments down like that and other things, it's kind of like you're trying to forget about what happened in the past when really you should be reminded of what we did in the past, because having the Civil War over, being able to keep slavery, that's just wrong, you know. And we've evolved a little bit since then, you know. There are still people out there that think that there should be slavery, yes, that black people shouldn't have the rights that white people do, but there's some people you just won't change their minds. And we have to deal with that as a society, but we shouldn't forget what happened, because if we start to forget what we did in the past, we're liable to repeat it again in the future, and that wouldn't be good. So, what do you guys think? Do you think they should remove the monuments, or do you think the monuments should have stayed where they were? Put a note down there in the comments, and let's talk about that to see where we stand. And that's it for today, everybody. I hope you liked my video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And also, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you missed yesterday's vlog, just click on the image there. Also, check out my social media sites, G+, Facebook, and Twitter. And also, please check out my website, the Chuck Baker homepage at chuckbaker.org. Till tomorrow, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.